Welcome to the DR Vibe. This is part 2 of treating yourself like a client. Today we're going to focus on building your natural rhythm. Welcome to the DR Vibe. I'm your host, Jenny Poff, the founder of the Designers Roundtable, a national accountability group for independent creative business owners. I'm also an independent creative business owner of Prescale Designs out of Erie, Pennsylvania. This is part 2 of our series on how to treat your business like a client and how to dedicate that time to work on your business. And I have with me today Crystal Reynolds of Canada, Damian Golden of Bethany Beach, Delaware, and Rochelle Roberts from Las Vegas. Now, I encourage you all to hear part 1 of this podcast so you can really pick up on things we're going to be chatting about today. So today's focus, right, is we've talked about why it's important to work on your business and balancing it with working in your business. But the next part of it is why you have to dedicate that time and what that means, because this can get really meaty. And I think that's why, this is another great reason why we brought Rochelle into this as a creative business coach and her creative business manifesto. And I had coached with Rochelle, and one of the greatest tools I walked away with was her helping me build my own natural rhythm. When things get super, super busy, I would get more anxiety because my desk and office become a disaster. Things are crazy. I got bills. I got this. I got that. I got that. And the fact that we worked through what are those big highlighted things that drive the craziness even more, we organized them into specific days and built my own natural rhythm. So before I let you, Rochelle, explain what that means, one example is bills and invoicing. If I'm really busy, I forget to invoice. And that's really, really bad. And it's to the point where even on my project management tool, the last action step on every template in my project management tool is send an invoice. And I know that my natural rhythm says Friday is bookkeeping day. So those are the days that I invoice, I receive payments, I process bills. And so when Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are crazy, I don't let those bills drive me nuts because I know Friday is the day to deal with those. So just as a preface to this, Rochelle, could you please tell us what is a natural rhythm and why it's important?
Absolutely. So for me, where I came up with the natural rhythm is being a creative and then coaching creatives for so long. I noticed that I could come up with, I would refer a lot of people to Elise about her time blocking and using that system, and some people it worked for and some people it didn't. And so what I love about programs like that, it could be whatever tool you want to use, or like Crystal's the My Life, I love that tool as well, is that as creatives, we have to really tune into what is our tool that works best for us. And I find that it's more of a mixture and paying attention to how the rhythm of our week kind of unfolds. There's usually a consistency. And so what I noticed for me personally is that on Mondays, if I didn't take the time to focus on my own business, whether it was marketing or billing or client follow-up calls to set appointments, whatever it may be, if I didn't do that, I felt lost for the rest of the week. So I began at the beginning of my business close to 20 years ago, is I kept Mondays as that was my day. That just felt like a natural rhythm to my week. Now for somebody else, it may be another day or it may be just an afternoon. It looks different for every person. But I think when we step back and really tune in and pay attention to how we work, what are the ways that we get things done most successfully, then we can really build in our natural rhythm and adapt our business to that. In fact, I see so often where business, it's difficult to block out that time, or it's scary. But once we do, and there's a rhythm that starts happening with that, we really flourish.
Well, you get into that rhythm, right? And even when things get crazy, I know for myself, I look back and think, wow, I was in a nice groove there for a while. And now, busy, life, work, whatever. I love that. And you called it this years ago, that this natural rhythm is your foundation and your checkpoint or your reset button. So in order to gain control again of everything, you have this platform to work from.
Absolutely. And when you're tuned into that, you can relax and focus more you can be more focused when you are doing client work, and become more effective when you know that there's other things. You have that rhythm set, you have that foundation that you know is kind of, and there's a point I really want to make, and then we can go wherever, but is that it's a baseline. When we set that, it doesn't mean we have to be perfect at it. It means when things do get hectic, that we can come back and know where our baseline is always.
That's great. And I want to make sure we plug our other friends. Of Elise Bennon has the marketing e-calendar, which a lot of our DR members have referenced of using it as a checkpoint even in their marketing. Damien, I know you use that. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about how that worked for you.
Sure. I've been using it for a couple of years. Elise Benham has out there the Marketing Mentor toolbox, and she's got a checklist. And I've actually have tailored it to fit what I need. And I think that's what's really important. We're going to share a lot of tools in our segment, and it's really about figuring out what works for you so that you can become, super productive and do what works for your schedule so that you can get things done. I also plugged in, and also remembering too, what may have worked for you in the past. If it's not working for you today, it's okay. You can change things. We're all human, and the way we learn and are most productive might change. So I think that's another thing. Like I use Crystal's My Week Planner, and I've started implementing the Pomodoro technique to kind of see if I can get even more efficient. And I recently went through Diana Valentine's Super Conditions game just to learn more about myself and what is my creative cycle and what is my natural rhythm. So it's about using those things so that you can be the best you, and you can do the most for your clients, and you can get the most done for your business. So I think it's all important when it works together.
Crystal, in the few minutes we have left, can you tell us about the My Life and the My Weekend, and really how there's planners, right? But why did you choose to make one, and can you share with our viewers about it?
It's a bit of a long story, but in summary, like I've always loved planners, and I always found anything that was out there was very constrained or too overly designed. So for myself at the time, I initially called it the My Day. So it was like an undated system. So it was flexible depending on, especially you never know what day you would be working. Some days you'd be so busy that you didn't even get to even write it down. And that way you weren't wasting paper. So that was important to me. And as I was doing that, the My Day and just focusing on the day was really great. But I found actually it was overwhelming the more that was added to my plate, especially as I was starting to focus on my business and actually having a space to actually incorporate that in. So working with Rochelle, and one of the key things that she cued me on was like the whole top 3. What are the top 3 things I want to do this week? So I created a kind of like a worksheet system, all undated. It gives you the ability to focus on maybe 3 categories. Maybe it's even just your daughter's birthday party, or it's your social media plan. And those tasks you can actually list underneath it. So you had that reference point on a separate page. Then on the inside spread, it was Monday to Friday, and it's that work week, which was kind of really nice to define. Empty space for tasks, as well as the schedule, again, undated. I didn't tell you when you're going to start working. You're going to define that as well. And it's not overly designed. It's simple. And then when you flip to the next page, you have the same space for Saturday and Sunday. And I always find as solo creative solopreneurs, we work 24/7 in our brains. So to have that ability to be able to think about that on the weekend, or hell, even just think about a personal life and actually plan some of that in there, is great. And when you're doing that, the next page is, oh, what am I going to get done that week? So you can easily just dump everything, and then you're kind of feeling a little bit ahead of the game. I mean, I'll admit I've been using it for the past year since I've been using it, but I'll still have weeks where I haven't even touched the week because things are reactionary. But because of that, it's just there for when I need it, kind of thing. So
that's great. And I think the big picture to walk away with is you have to be able to dedicate the time and whatever structure that works for you. And you may have to try a few things. I mean, I tried using a paper planner, and what was really the discipline that I learned from using a paper planner versus a digital one was that it made me stop and look if I can take that appointment or not. Whereas on the fly, I just pick up my phone. Oh, yeah, sure, I can fit you in. But I would purposely not take my book with me so that I would have to percolate and figure out the best time. And that taught me to slow down, hold time as precious, and only book when it worked.
Yeah. On the flip side too, like you say, the digital calendars, like I still have my online calendar system and it's always there. But once I put it in there, I'll forget about it. So the paper system gives you that ability. Oh, what do I have down this week? And then it gives you that second take. And once you write things down, you start to remember and you can actually manage your time a bit better.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. That finishes up, I think, our chapter 2 of why it's important to treat yourself like a client and spend time working on your business as well as in your business. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
And if you guys would like to learn more about the Designers Roundtable and the DR Vibe, you're welcome to visit designers-roundtable.com.